Hello and welcome back to 1111. I am Tia Dunn. What do you think about emoji and emoticons? I think emoticons came first, didn't they? There were emoticons before there were emoji. Now, I mean, I don't know, some people only know emoji because if you were born after 1999, you probably only know emojis. But before emojis, there were like emoticons. And people had a love-hate people love-hate emojis and people love-hate emoticons. I mean, I remember before emojis became the popular yellow things, people had strong opinions about whether, like a colon or a semicolon and a bracket was good or bad. And as for the semicolon with a D, I'm trying to do an impression of the amount of laughter you would have to be doing to be winking and smiling that big D smile. In any case, I mean, I thought they were kind of cute. I didn't have strong opinions either way. They didn't enrage me. I thought they were quite fun. Sometimes I liked to experiment with putting the eyes on the other side of the bracket. That was my little rebellion. But that wasn't until like the mid to late noughties that I was doing that, and emojis was already. So when emojis came out, I kind of didn't want to use them. I just wanted to stick to the old school, like little. I'm a resistor, it would seem. Sometimes I'm an early adopter. What are you like? I'm sometimes an early adopter, like, oh my goodness, this is great. Let's just jump on it. And other times I'm like, no. No, I don't like that. And so I think with emoji, I kind of hung on to the emoticons for a long time. I was like, no. And also I just wanted to subvert them. I wanted them to smile or frown the other way around. Why do they always have to be this way? Why can't they also be that way? If you are listening and are watching, when I'm saying this way and not that way, I am tilting my head from left to right to be the same way up as an emoticon. Anyway, and then emoji started to get political. So emoji, the yellow, colourful things, were invented in Japan in 1999 and just became more and more popular and universal. And then, because they were made in Japan, there was a lot of sushi emoticons. But then other cultures wanted to have their own food representations, and rightly so, tacos and etc. And then, of course, we go down the whole kind of aubergine, peaches. I'm not even going to discuss that further. We'll just put that over there. But it was just, to me, I found them quite easy to use. I've never necessarily been particularly fluent in emoji, but they're kind of fun to use. But then I in 2015, skin tone started to happen. So a thumbs up could have different skin tone. And the flamenco dancer could have different skin tone. And you could have different hairstyles. And I'm just going to stick to the skin tone for a minute, because when the skin tone thing happened, I really just kind of stopped wanting to use emojis. I was just like, no, I can't. Oh, there were cartoons that didn't have a race, and they were universal, and now we have to choose a skin tone. And I would have these conversations with people, and the counter argument was always, what colour did I think the Simpsons were? The Simpsons, who were the same colour as the emojis. And I'd never really thought about it before, but I guess, you know, obviously the Simpsons were a white family. And so I guess that by that rationale, the yellow emoticons, the yellow thumbs up, was supposed to be like a white thumb. But as these were invented in Japan, I'm more likely to argue that the yellow thumbs up was never a white thumb. And while we're on the subjects of like, no, that's okay, it's a tangent. But in America, like in the UK, when you're crossing the road, you've got a green person or a red person. It's said to be a man. It's always like the green man or the red man. Maybe now when you're learning to cross the road, they're a bit more gender neutral about that. But when I was learning to cross the road, it was the green man. You had to wait for the green man. Green for go, green for safe, red for stop. In America, in New York, right, I used to love the walk, don't walk, but then suddenly it was like there was a red man to stop and a white man to go. And I always found that slightly objectionable. You know? Why is it a white man? Why isn't it a green? Anyway, back to the emoji. So I guess the counter argument was that, you know, the standard or the default is white, and so all of the colours should be there. But then I didn't really enjoy seeing the colour that people self-identified with. I'm like, okay, so that's, you think, I'm quite happy to receive, like, you keep sending me emojis and they're yellow, I'm like, okay, that's fine, we'll just keep. But as soon as you're like, choose your skin colour when you're sending me a thumbs up, I'm like, okay, so you think that's your shade, do you? And then I'm like, oh, that's a bit lighter or darker than I might have put you. And then I'm like, what shade would I choose for myself? What would people think of the shade that I've chosen for myself? Would it be an agreement or a disagreement? And I'm mixed. I'm more than one racial background. And as many people are. And I don't know, I guess having grown up with nicknames like Bounty and Coconut, or accusations of not being black enough, or denying my black side, or not really this, not really anything, not really this or that. Just having to choose a precise tone from an emoji felt really quite, it feels, A, stressful. I don't want to think about that. I don't know if I've got a B, so I'm not sure why I said A. I just object to it. I don't want to. But if somebody sends me something and they've got their shade in it, and then I think it's especially when it's like white people sending me like their very particularly like pale thumb up. I'm like, Well, if this is all right then. I'm really not expressing this well, but if the yellow was supposed to be the white, then why does I don't know. I didn't want the politics in the emojis is really all that I'm trying to say. And I kind of feel like since 2015, so they've been around, race in emojis have been around for 10 years now. Words, get your words out. And I still find them stressful. Still feel like you're telling me something more by the choosing of the colour of your fist bump. And also, like, if you can choose the colour of your fist bump or your thumbs up or your happy hands or etc., why can't we choose the colour of the smiley face? I'm not suggesting that you do, and please don't. 1111.